All right, we're back from the holidays, ready for some Serie A action. We've got a spicy matchup to kick things off. Fiorentina versus Napoli.
Ooh, yeah, always a good one.
Both teams looking to start the year strong, but
After that break.
yeah, exactly after the break.
Yeah.
Napoli's coming in hot, tied for the lead,
Definitely.
while Fiorentina's trying to shake off a bit of a December slump.
Yeah, they had some struggles there at the end of last year.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
speaking of setting the tone, we love a good prediction here at Tips Moto.
Oh, always.
Our supercomputer's been crunching the numbers on this one, but we'll get to that a little later.
Okay.
First, let's dive into Fiorentina's situation.
All right.
They started the season on fire, winning 8 straight, looking like real contenders.
Yeah, they were.
But then things took a turn.
1 point out of their last 3 Serie A matches.
Yeah, not ideal.
Not ideal. And you know what's interesting?
What's that?
They've been historically strong at home.
Okay.
No back-to-back losses at the Stadio Franchi, their home ground, since late 2023. But get this. They haven't won their opening Serie A match of the year for 5 seasons straight.
A New Year's curse, you might say.
Maybe.
But then again, maybe this is the year they break it.
Could be. Could be.
After all, Napoli hasn't won at the Stadio Franchi since 2018.
That's right. 3-0 drubbing by Fiorentina. And get this.
Yeah.
The star of the show, Giovanni Simeone,
Oh, yeah.
scored a hat-trick. He now plays for Napoli.
Oh, wow.
Talk about a twist of fate.
I'm dying to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
Will he even get any playing time, you think?
Well, that's a good question. There's been a lot of transfer talk
Uh-huh.
surrounding another Napoli player, Giacomo Raspadori,
Okay.
even though he scored the winning goal in their last match.
Right.
So if he's on his way out, maybe Simeone gets his chance to shine against his old team.
Now that would be a story.
For sure.
Speaking of stories, let's talk about Napoli's impressive run.
Right?
3 wins heading into the break, feeling confident, and
Feeling good.
yeah, they're feeling good.
Yeah.
And their away game record is stellar. It's 6 wins and 2 draws in their last 8 on the road.
Yeah. And their defense has been incredible during that stretch.
Oh, yeah.
Only 3 goals conceded in those 8 away games with 5 clean sheets.
Wow.
You can really see Antonio Conte's influence.
For sure.
They're 13 points better off than they were at this time last year.
Night and day.
Night and day.
But they're up against Serie A's leading scorer this time around.
Oh, yeah.
Moise Kean has already bagged 15 goals for Fiorentina.
He has.
Do you think he'll be able to break through Napoli's tough defense?
Well, it's certainly not going to be easy.
I imagine.
Napoli's starting lineup features both Romelu Lukaku and Kvicha Kvaratskhelia.
Wow.
And that's a nightmare for any defender.
Right.
But Keane is a powerful and talented striker.
Right.
If anyone can find a way past them, it's him. It'll be a fascinating matchup to watch.
Yeah, sounds like we've got a real clash of styles here. Fiorentina's home advantage and potent attack versus Napoli's momentum and ironclad defense.
It's a good one.
No wonder our supercomputer's having a tough time with this one.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough one to call.
Really is.
But that's what makes it so exciting.
Absolutely.
So many factors at play.
Yeah.
So many potential narratives.
All right, so before we reveal our official Tips Moto prediction,
Okay.
let's take a closer look at some of the key individual battles that could decide this match.
All right. Sounds good.
We already touched on Kean versus Napoli's defense.
Yeah.
But what are some other matchups you're keeping an eye on?
One that jumps out at me is Fiorentina's midfield against Napoli's pressing style.
Okay.
Conte's teams are known for their high energy,
Yeah.
aggressive pressing,
Mm-hmm.
and Fiorentina's midfielders will need to be sharp and composed to handle that pressure.
Right.
If they can break through that press, they could find space to exploit behind Napoli's high defensive line.
Okay.
But if they get bogged down,
Yeah.
it could be a long day for them.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's not just about individual talent.
Yeah.
It's about how these units match up tactically.
Exactly.
And speaking of tactics, let's talk about Giovanni Simeone.
Okay.
We mentioned that he scored a hat-trick against Napoli back in 2018.
Yes.
But what kind of player is he, and how might Conte utilize him in this match?
Well, Simeone is a classic poacher. He's got a real knack for being in the right place at the right time in the box.
Uh-huh.
And he's a clinical finisher.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Conte brings him off the bench late in the game,
Interesting.
especially if they're chasing a goal.
Okay.
He could be a real wild card in this match.
That's fascinating.
Hmm?
Like having a secret weapon up your sleeve.
Hmm.
So you're thinking he's more of an impact sub in this scenario? Not a starter.
That's my hunch, yeah. Conte seems to have a settled starting 11 right now.
Makes sense.
Lukaku and Kvaratskhelia are in such good form.
They are. They are.
But having a player like Simeone on the bench, especially against his former team, adds a whole other dimension to the match.
Agreed. And speaking of adding dimensions, we have to talk about those New Year trends we mentioned earlier.
Ooh, right.
Fiorentina haven't won their first match of the year for 5 seasons running.
Yeah.
Do you think that could play a role in this match, or is it just a statistical quirk?
I'm hesitant to put too much stock in statistical quirks.
Yeah.
But there could be a psychological element at play here, you know?
Okay.
If Fiorentina players are aware of this trend, it could create a bit of self-doubt, especially if things aren't going their way early in the match.
Right.
On the other hand, it could also motivate them to prove the doubters wrong and start the year with a bang.
So you're saying it could swing either way,
It could. It could.
which is kind of how we feel about the entire match, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's a tough one to predict.
absolutely. And that's why we at Tipsmodo, we go beyond the surface level.
Oh,
We don't just look at the basic stats and trends.
Right.
We dig deep into the tactical nuances,
I like it.
the player matchups, the psychological factors.
Mhm.
We want to give our users a comprehensive understanding of the match so they can make informed betting decisions.
Exactly. It's
Huh.
not just about throwing darts at a board.
Yeah,
It's about understanding the story behind the numbers.
for sure.
And speaking of understanding the story,
Yeah.
let's bring it back to the Stadio Franchi.
Okay.
We know it can be a fortress for Fiorentina,
Yeah,
but it's also where Simeone made history against Napoli back in 2018.
that's right.
Do you think the atmosphere will favor Fiorentina, or could Napoli silence the crowd early on?
That's going to be crucial. If Fiorentina can start strong and get the crowd behind them, it could create a really intimidating atmosphere for Napoli.
Right.
But if Napoli can weather the early storm
Yeah.
and maybe even nick an early goal, it could completely change the dynamic.
Wow.
Remember, they've been incredibly solid on the road this season.
That's true. That's true. It's like a chess match, isn't it?
It is.
Each move can have a ripple effect on the entire game.
Exactly.
And we, at Tipsmodo, we try to anticipate those ripple effects.
Yeah.
Those key turning points.
Yep.
So our users can stay ahead of the curve.
That's our goal, to empower our users with the insights and information they need to make smart betting choices.
Love it.
And we're confident that our analysis of this Fiorentina versus Napoli match will do just that.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about Fiorentina's roller coaster season.
Yep.
Napoli's impressive form, those intriguing New Year trends, the key players to watch, and the potential impact of the Stadio Franchi atmosphere.
A lot going on.
But now it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for.
The moment of truth.
What is the Tipsmodo prediction for this New Year's showdown?
Well, after crunching all the numbers, analyzing all the data, considering all those fascinating narratives,
You're really keeping us in suspense here.
we are predicting a 1-1 draw.
A draw. Interesting. I have to admit, part of me was expecting you to lean towards Napoli,
Yeah?
given their recent form and defensive strength.
Yeah. I understand why you'd think that. But we believe Fiorentina's home advantage, their potent attack led by Moise Kean, and that potential psychological factor of wanting to break their New Year's curse could be enough to earn them a point.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not ruling out a Fiorentina victory either.
Absolutely not. And that's what makes this match so compelling. It's a genuine toss-up. Both teams have the potential to win, and a draw is certainly a realistic outcome.
It sounds like we're in for a tense and exciting match.
Should be a good one.
And that's exactly the kind of match we love at Tipsmodo.
The best ones.
The ones that keep you on the edge of your seat, where every goal, every tackle, every save matters.
For sure. And remember, we're here to help you make sense of all the action.
That's right.
We'll be providing pre-match analysis, live updates during the game, and of course those all-important betting tips.
Hold on. We'll get to that in a moment.
Okay.
First, I want to pick your brain about something.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier that Fiorentina's midfield will need to be sharp and composed to handle Napoli's pressing style. But haven't there been moments this season where Napoli's high defensive line has been vulnerable to counterattacks?
That's a great observation.
Yeah.
And yes, there have been instances where teams with pace and precision on the counter have exploited those spaces behind Napoli's defense.
Right.
Fiorentina certainly has the players to do that, especially with a player like Nico Gonzalez, who's known for his speed and dribbling ability.
So if Fiorentina can withstand that early pressure from Napoli
Yeah.
and then hit them on the break, maybe that's their path to victory.
It's definitely a possibility, and that's why this match is so fascinating from a tactical perspective. It's a clash of styles, a battle of wits between two very different but very effective approaches.
I can't wait to see how it unfolds, and I know our listeners are eager to hear how they can get in on the action with Tips Moto.
Well, if you're looking for expert insights, in-depth analysis, and those all-important betting tips to help you make the most of this Fiorentina versus Napoli clash,
And all the other exciting Serie A matches this season.
then you need to follow Tips Moto on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
You name it, we're there.
That's right.
And we're constantly updating our feeds with the latest news, analysis, and predictions.
All the good stuff.
So before you place those bets, make sure you check out Tips Moto. We're here to help you win big.
And we're not just about the numbers.
No.
We love the beautiful game, and we want to share that passion with you.
Absolutely.
So join us on this journey as we dive deep into the world of Serie A.
All right, so we've got our Tips Moto prediction, a 1-1 draw.
That's right.
We've discussed the key tactical battles, the potential impact of Simeone and that Stadio Franchi atmosphere, and, of course, we've given you all the information you need to connect with us on social media.
Awesome.
Now let's sit back, relax, and enjoy what promises to be a thrilling New Year's showdown between Fiorentina and Napoli.
I can't wait.
This match could be the spark Fiorentina needs to reignite their season,
It could be.
or it could solidify Napoli's position as the team to beat in Serie A.
Either way, it's going to be a must-watch match.
And we at Tips Moto will be with you every step of the way, bringing you all the best insights and analysis. Don't forget to check us out on social media.
We'll see you there.
Until next time, enjoy the match.